Constants are a type of variable that we can use in programming that gives us a very specific purpose with the variable, and I want to talk to you about it in this very short video here, but I wanted to make it separate so that you understand this, because we're going to build on this a little bit later on in the course. First of all, a constant is really a variable that is read-only. Now, if you can't write to the variable, how do you ever give it its first value? Well, what happens is we're going to declare a constant just like we do any other kind of variable, and we're going to give it a value. And once our program is compiled, then we cannot go back and change the value of that constant variable. All right? The compiler is going to check for any statement that attempts to change that constant variable, and if it finds one, it's going to squawk at us, throw an error, and it's not going to compile the program. All right, now, why would we want to use a constant? Well, let's say that we have some aspect of our program that we want to remain solid. We want it to be unchangeable. We don't want to introduce any bugs, any unanticipated actions. And so we declare a variable as a constant. We set it equal to a value. This could be like an interest rate, a price per pound, anything like that. And we know that that number, that variable, is not going to change as the program runs. Now, to define a constant, it's very similar to defining a variable. You're going to define your variable just like you always would before, except you're going to put the word const in front of it. Now, here's a little extra something for those of you kind of adventurous nerds out there. Constants have been called by a lot of people kind of one of the most confusing aspects of C++. I don't want to go into it right here, but constants can be used in a lot of different places, a lot of different ways, and they can really get quite confusing. So you might want to jump out to Google and just do a little Google thing on constants in C++, and we will probably touch on this a little bit later on during the course, but I don't want to throw too much at you right here. But anyway, just take it from now that a constant is a variable that once we declare it and bring it into being in our code, once this is compiled, that x is going to be equal to 45 for as long as our program runs, okay? And we cannot change it. If we try to write a line that's going to change x after it's been declared as a constant, it's going to squawk at us, throw it out, not compile the program, okay? So that's a constant. Now, also, let me say this right quick. A lot of times, developers have certain ways of naming these constants, and you'll see that the variables are in all caps if they're constants and that sort of thing. Some people start them with CON. Just kind of watch the environment you're coding in, go by whatever coding structure they're using, or lay out your own, but just make sure you stay consistent with it. Okay, so anyway, that's constants.